the Irontrader, and this is the last call of the day. So we're going to take a look here at Bitcoin, crude oil, and natural gas. We're also going to take a look here at the Dow, the S&P, the NASDAQ. We're going to take a look here at Netflix, Microsoft, Meta. So it should be pretty good. Okay, what we have here is we got a market that is just getting hammered. The Dow's down 1,200, NASDAQ's down about 560, and the S&P's down 170. Okay, at the end of the video, the support and resistance levels are posted for crude and natural gas. This video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy, sell any stock, about ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Okay, here we're going to start the day off here with, the end of the day here with the old Bitcoin. Okay, now, Bitcoin's hanging in there overall pretty good, but if you just watch my videos here, you can just see exactly where I said she's going to go, okay? I said upside here, we want to watch that 50-day at 87,227. Right now, you're sitting at 87.95. We're just below it. Now, so far today, we had this high of 88,785, but what we're looking for is this price channel here at 89.20, which is basically just the top of this candle. So right now here, what we have, it couldn't get through it. So what we have is a double top situation. So just be aware of this, okay? Now, again, we have this like an inverse head and shoulder. So your left shoulder, there's your head with a double bottom, and then we have this right shoulder here. Now, again, we're putting in this nice series of higher highs and higher lows here, and we're above that key 8 SMA and that 21 SMA. But I said this 50-day is going to be very, very crucial that we need to close above it. Not just pop and come back down, but close above it. That's at 87,225. That next level there is going to be that 89.20 level. That's going to be very, very key also. Now, again, if we shoot, we get above that, then we're looking for that 92 level. And then what we're going to be looking for right here is going to be looking for this 93,253. That is your 100-day simple moving average. And then we have to see what happens when it get there. So when I always say here, watch what happens, watch the 50-day. If it goes above that, watch the price channel, and let's see what the reaction is, okay? See, the reaction is rejection here so far, okay? And now we're called right down here below the 50-day. Now, that doesn't mean that tomorrow it can't pop up here and start heading towards that 100-day. It could very well, but right now, always keep in mind, we have this double top situation, okay? That's going to be key. Now, on the downside, looking at support levels here, we want to watch this. This is 85,745. And then we'll come over top of this candle, 85,700. And then we're going to start getting into the big boy stuff here. You're looking at 84,263. That is your 21-day. And then we have that 8-day right below that at, what do we got there? Okay, we got 84,193 level, okay? So these are the key. Now, you can see how that 8-day rolled down, and then it rolled back above, rolled down, and now it looks like it wants to cross over. But that 50-day is going to be a problem here. You got to close above it. That's the key. Then we can hit that price channel, then possibly head for that 100 SMA here, okay? So you got to be a little bit patient here, okay? Now, some good trading here in the IBID today. I got as low as 49.09 and hit 50.42 today, so that's looking pretty good. Now, if we look at the RSI here, you're sitting at 53. That's, we're pretty much in the middle. We got plenty of room to run to the upside. Your green is over your red. That shows momentum there to the upside. So right now, what we're trading is we're looking at that 21-day on the bottom, that 8-day on the bottom, okay? That's going to be your key levels. On the top is going to be right here. It's going to be that 50-day, and we're going to be looking right there at that 89.20 level, which is your breakout, okay? But remember, just keep in mind here, this double top situation that we have going on here so far. Now, it doesn't mean that's going to stick. It could crack above that tomorrow, but let's see how she all shakes out. Okay, let's take a look here now at the old crude oil. Okay, here we have the crude oil, your daily chart. Now, you can see here, let me just big her up a little bit here, how this 8-day is still holding. Now, okay, so we went just below it a little bit, but you notice that we're getting back and we're closing back above it, okay? So that's going to be the key, all right? So that's what we're looking for right now, is it's holding this key 8 SMA here. That's 62.07. Now, if that is lost here, then we got to look right here. Your next support level is going to be that 60.88, and then we're going to come down to the bottom of this candle at 60.44. That's going to be very, very key. Now, again, if we keep right on rolling down, all we do is just follow this candles down. 59.43 level, what do we have here? 58.76 level, come to the bottom, 57.88, and then we retest at 55.12. But right now, the 8-day is coming down, and it's holding here so far very, very nicely. Now, on the upside, what we want to do is we want to watch the top of this candle. That's 62.98. We look to today's high at 63.78, And then we'll look here to the top of this candle at that 64.18 and then 65.40. That's going to be your big target. Now, we do have resistance here at that 65.22 level, but that 21 day at 65.40 is going to be key. So right now, what we're trading is that 21 day on the top side and this 8 day on the bottom side. But if you lose that 8 day on a closing basis, then this is going to roll over, and then we just follow the candles all the way down to a possible retest, okay? Now, remember, OPEC is going to be adding a lot of oil here starting May 1st. That's just right around the corner. So we got to see how it's all shake out. However, that being said, we got summer driving coming into effect here, okay? And then we come take it all the way into hurricane season. So we got to see how this all shakes in, but you got to factor in possible recession, these tariff situations. That whole factor is what you got to get in on the oil situation. Now, when we look here, 43, that's, no problem at all right there. That is still looking very good. And then we're going to be looking right here at that. The green is trying to get above the red, but it's not there yet. Okay, so we're just kind of kissing each other here on the bottom, but nothing yet. But we're holding this 8 day, and that is going to be the key. Okay, so when those futures open tonight at 6 p.m., you watch that 62.07 if you're trading oil. That's going to be the key. And then we want to watch today's high if you can bust above it, because that 65.40 is going to be your target. Okay, let's take a look here now at natural gas. Okay, here we have natural gas, your daily and your weekly. Now you can see where natty gas here. This is what I was pointing out. Is this gap, okay, at that 316, that fill at 311. We took that out, and then I pointed out right here at that 305 level. Now, the next in line here is going to be on the weekly chart, which is going to be right here, is going to be at 3 flat. That's going to be very, very crucial, okay? That it really needs to hold on a closing basis. We had a really nice, good, positive chart here, so we had a low, higher low, higher low, higher low. But now, look at here, we put a topping tail in there, and she just came right off the mark. Okay, so you always want to put a weekly right next to your daily because it gives you a little bit different kind of a look. Okay, so you look at the daily, I've been pointing out here, this top 4.25, there's your double top. That's pretty much what you got going now on Bitcoin. It doesn't mean that it can't blow through, but this candle tried, but it couldn't get any higher than what that 425 was, and then she sold right on off. Okay, and I always point out that 8 day. Boom, 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 boom. Couldn't get through. When you're below that 8 day, it's sideways to down action. Above the 8 day, sideways to up action. Okay, so what we're watching here is going to be that key 3 level. Now, if that's lost here, we got that 100 day sitting at that 2.74 level. Then you can come all the way down to the bottom, actually, of this candle right there. You're looking all the way down to a 221 level. But we got to see how this is all going to shake out. Now, remember, natural gas is in the shoulder season, so it's not really in play. But if we get a hot summer, you combine that with some LNG, it can turn it around real quick. Now, RSI here, we're headed towards oversold, but we're not oversold yet. The same way here with the MACD, we're not oversold just yet. Okay, and on the weekly, you got a long ways to go. So right now, what you want to do is just watch that 50 day. That's going to be crucial at that 3 flat. If that's lost here, then we're going to come right down here to that 2.74 level. Now, there is support in between here. We can look at these candles here. Here, you're looking at 2.80 there. But again, you're going to be always looking for those big targets. That's what we're shooting for. Okay, let's take a look here now at the old Dow. Okay, here we have the old Dow. Okay, so you can see here how we had this beautiful upside rally, and then what we do is we double top kind of a situation. Then we put this series of lower highs. See, high, lower high, and then boom, right off the old charts. Now, you can see where we rallied up at this 21 day is the key. And I'm going to show you the S&P and NASDAQ next. And you can see they're all pretty much the same, okay? So you went to that 21 day, we're hanging around, couldn't get through that 200 day. And then now we have absolute waterfall here, okay? So today's low here so far is 37,830. Okay, so what we're looking for next is to look into the bottom of this candle. This is next 37,275, and then we'll come to the bottom of this candle right here. You're looking at 37,103, and then your big retest down here is 36,611, and we have to see what the reaction is once we get there. Now, you can see here on the charts, there's no divergence at all. We just had an oversold bounce that came right on up here, and now looks like she's rolling that back over again here. So let's just see how this all going to shake out. Same way here at the MACD. Okay, so right now we have a complete waterfall. We have a double top situation. You can see where all the strong resistance was right here at that 47.78 level here. We could not get through that. to get even to the 21 day. And now we're just putting this series of lower highs and lower lows in. So right now, there's nothing bullish about this. I'm not saying you can't get a relief rally on turnaround Tuesday, but again, right now you're down 1269. This could come down way lower. So just watch the bottom of this candle here. Okay, that's going to be very key, that 37,275. And then right here at that 103 level, and then your big retest down here at that 36,611 level. So then we have to see what the reaction is going to be. But on the upside here, if it could rally up here, what we're looking for is this 8 SMA here at 39,749. But it's going to take a big catalyst for us to get right back up there. Okay, so right now this is that series of lower highs and lower highs looking ugly. Okay, let's take a look here now at the S&P. Okay, here we have the S&P, and it looks exactly the same way. Okay, see what we did here? Okay, now we have that 21. We're fighting it, and it came right on up, and then all the way on down. And now look at here how ugly this is getting again. Okay, so what we're watching here is today. The low was 51.01 here so far. We were watching at the bottom of this candle right here at 51.115, came a little bit lower. Now, again, if it can hold that, you could get a possible double bottom. You could get yourself a relief rally, but let's just see how that shakes out. So the next level that we're going to be looking for is going to be right down here at that 5,069 level, okay? And then we'll come right to the bottom of this candle right here. Okay, you're looking at that 49.48 level, and then we'll come to the bottom of this candle. You're looking at 49.10, and then your 48.35. That is going to be the retest, and we got to see what kind of reaction is going to be. Now, you look at this chart here; it's the same as the Dow. Okay, there's no divergence here. There's no nothing here. This is just absolute waterfall to the downside, and we have is a high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. Nothing here. Your 50-day cross down, 21 down here. We're above your 8 was trying to curl up, but it just couldn't manufacture it, and it came all the way down. So again, this looks like it just wants to go lower. Let's see how it shakes out tomorrow. Okay, let's take a look here now at the old NASDAQ. Okay, we look at the NASDAQ, and you can see it's pretty much the same chart again, okay? So high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, and we're falling off the cliff here, okay? So what we're watching, this is getting pretty much hammered. So far, today's low is at 15,685. So what we're watching is the bottom of this candle right here, okay? So you're looking at 15,575, and if that's lost, we're going to come right to the bottom of this candle. You're looking at 15,270, and then we'll come here. You're looking at 15,053, and then your retest out there at 14,784. So we got to see what the reaction is if it gets all the way down there. Now, again, we can have a turnaround Tuesday, and this could rally right back up here again. We don't know that. But, you know, again, this is not looking good. And now we put a gap to the upside. So when you look at this upside here, what we want to watch is the top of that candle, 16,066 level. And there's your gap. And then we look to the bottom of that candle, 16,181. There's your gap and your fill. And then we can head towards that key 8 level. Now, there's going to be a lot of tech earnings coming out here this week. I mean, a lot. Okay, so tomorrow we got Tesla after the close. And then we have Google on the 24th, Microsoft and Meta's on the 30th. Then we have Apple and Amazon on 5/1. Okay, so you got a lot of coming up here. So this is not looking really what you call that good, but let's just see how it all shakes out. Okay, let's take a look here now at Netflix. Okay, here we got Netflix. Now, I dumped out of my Netflix there on Thursday, okay? I always sell. I take it down when it came down here because it held that 200-day. If you watch my video, you'll know that I showed you that, okay? And what I'm looking for was this a price channel up here at that 998. Now, you can see here, today here, we got pretty good at 1019. I sold out at 1006 there on Thursday, and I was more than happy with that because I didn't want to go into a long weekend with anything, okay? Now, Netflix got a lot of good upgrades here going forward, and I don't think like the tariff issue, nothing's going to stop this thing. I mean, you know, it's all digital. There's nothing there. There's no tariffs to do what, okay? So this is all working out here very good. Now, the key is going to be is a close above this price channel at that 998 level, okay? You have to close above that because right now we have a topping tail and we have a double top situation. So just remember that. And again, if we can close above that 998 level, then we look through today's high. You're looking at that 1019 level. Now, if we can get above that, we can follow the candles up. But realistically, just bring this price channel right across. this is what you're going to be looking for next, is at 1,045. And then we have that retest up there at 1,064 level, okay? I wish your stock would split. That would be kind of awesome, okay? Now, on the downside here, where obviously we're watching to do today's low, you're looking at 973.05. And then we'll be looking here at that 50-day. Okay, so you're looking at that 958.68. That's going to be key. And then that 8-day is sitting right below it at that 951. Okay, so those are there. A lot of good support here level. But you notice here when you put those topping tails in, and we have on the left-hand side here, so far now what we have is that double top situation. So you got to be just a little bit careful on going on. But again, if we can hold that 50 SMA here, that's going to be very, very good. And that 8 and that 100 and that 21 day, you have a lot of good support here underneath. Now, we're not oversold here at all. We had this positive divergence. See, we had the low. We had a low here. We had an even lower low, but we have the higher low. That's what got me into the stock here, okay? See, this is one flag that says, wow, this is good. And then it held that 200-day. That's another flag. And then we have the earnings. I always buy this ahead of earnings, and I sell half of it before and then half of it after the earnings come out, okay? And the earnings were really good. I didn't get the top, but I was more than happy with the trade, okay? So we have plenty of room to run here. You're looking at 58, plenty of room to run, and the green is over your red here. So this is looking really good. But the key is going to be right here, is going to be that 998 level. You got to get and close above it. That's going to be key. Okay, let's take a look here now at Microsoft. Okay, now Microsoft, the earnings here are on the 30th. So always watch the earning kind of a situation. Now you can see here where we're just kind of like falling right off a cliff. Okay, so what we did is we ran right on up here to the top of this candle, which was at a 396 level. And then we came pretty close to it and we had 394. Okay, so right there is your double top situation again. And then we've been selling ever since. Okay, so this is what you don't want. You always want it to close above that 396 level. And then you can see where this 50-day is holding up very, very strong. Okay, we got right into it and then pulled back, into it and then pulled back. That's why I say these key levels here are your 8, 21-day, 50, 100-day, and 200-day. So those are your key support and resistant levels. Now, you can see here where we just gapped right down, broke through all of this here, and we put in 2 gaps in here that we have. Okay, so I want you to pay attention to this gap here. Okay, so you look at the high, 364.48, there's your gap. And then we look to the bottom of this candle here at 366.89, there's your fill. And then the next level up here is going to be 381.61, there's your gap. And then we look to the bottom of this candle here, 384.16, there's your fill. Okay, so we have the 8-day and 21-day here, but the gaps and fills are also good targets. Now, here on the downside, we put a low in there today of 355.67. What we're looking for next is going to be right here at 353. And then we'll come right down to the bottom of this candle here. You're looking at that 350 level and then 344.79. If it gets down there, we have to see what the reaction is. If this turns around, watch that gap and that fill, and then that 8-day, 21-day, and then the gap and the fill, and then possibly back to that 50 SMA here. Now, we're sitting here. We had no divergence going on here. We just sold right down. You're at 37. You're not oversold. That could come right on down here. Same way your green is starting to roll over here. So right now, this is kind of like an ugly chart, but let's just see how this shakes out. If it gets down to this area, this 344, and it holds it, that could be a good buying opportunity here to take it back up here. Not only the gap and the fill, but even that 8-day and that 21 SMA here. Okay, let's take a look here now at Meta. Okay, here we have Meta. Now we're seeing in there, this one here is looking here pretty ugly on the old charts. Okay, so it's the same kind of a pattern, ready to hang around that 21-day. Okay, couldn't get to through the 200-day on the retest here, and then selling right off. Now the key level for it to close on is right here, is that 481.90. Okay, that is going to be very, very key. If not, what we do is we always look to the left of the chart here, okay? So we come over here, we look at the bottom of there, you're looking at 478 level, okay? That's what we're looking at. We come down here to the bottom of this candle here, you're looking at 466.75. We're looking at 456. We come to the bottom of this candle right here, you're looking at 450 flat, and then we can do a big retest all the way down here at 442. So always watch this price channel right here. That's going to be key. 481. If that's lost, we just look to the left of the chart. These are all going to be all your support levels. Now we're sitting right here. We got to the oversold condition, and now we're sitting here. We're not oversold yet. This could come down further, but let's just see if we can get a bounce. Same way here. The chart is looking absolutely ugly. We had a really good bull run for that 70-40 area, and now she's just getting hammered, and you can see that series of high, lower high, lower high, lower high situation. Not looking good. So it's got to close back above this price channel because this is the retest at that 481. Now it got a little bit lower than that, but if it can hold that, we could probably get a relief rally going right on up. So what we're looking for is the top of that candle at 493 level. We'll come over the top of this candle here. You're looking at 507, and then we have another gap going here. You got 513.37, and then we look to the bottom of this candle at that 517. Your gap fill, and then we have this right here is this 8-day at 527 level. But let's just see how it shakes out. Remember, the earnings are out on the 30th, so we got to see how that all going to shake out here. Okay, so let's just throw another one in here. Let's take a look here at NVIDIA. Okay, NVIDIA had a really good run all the way up here up to that 153 level, and then you can see how we just had a slide, okay? Every rally here is putting in lower highs, and we're just selling right off on every rally, okay? Now, what we want to do is we want to watch is this key level down here, okay? First of all, we're sitting at 95 right now, okay? So we're watching right here is this 94.46 level, okay? That's going to be next, and then right here is going to be key. This is going to be that 92.11, okay? That 92.11 is going to be very, very critical. And then what we have is we have that retest of 86.62. Now, if this is lost here, that could go right down to 60 bucks there very, very easily, okay? So just remember that here. If we lose that 86.62 level here, okay, right where we are, then we can start following these candles right here, okay? So right there, you're looking at 81.25. We come down to the bottom here. You're looking at 79.18. Then we can come test this here. You're looking at 82 flat. But then we had this gap and this fill all the way down here, okay? So your gap, bottom line here, is 66, let me see here. 74.22, there's your gap. And then we looked at the top of this candle here. You're looking at 66.25 level. So we have this gap and fill. So put that on your back burner. If this loses that 86.62, we have this gap and fill all the way here on the left of your chart. So, okay, so I'm not saying that's where it's going to go, but eventually these gaps, they get filled. So you got to be very, very pay attention. Just put that on your back burner for right now. Now, again, if we can possibly hold this, their earnings aren't coming out till May 28th. So you got plenty of time here. Okay, so if you want to look at the upside here, you want to look at today's high, 99.44 level, and then we can come right up here to the top of this candle, and we're looking here at that, basically that 101 level, and then we can come up to the top here. You're looking at that 104.47, and then we come up here at that 107 level, and then possibly even at 108. But realistically, the upside, we're looking for that 100, that 105 level, and then we can come into the 8 and your 108 level at this 21 SMA here. But right now, this is the same thing. It's all waterfall city. We are not oversold here yet. Okay, on either chart here, we're not oversold. So this could very well hit that 86.62. Now, again, if this holds this level here on a closing basis, that could be a good opportunity, buying opportunity, at least to take it right back to that 8-day and possible 21-day. Now, I always buy this. I trade this all the time. I'm a long-term holder of this, and I also trade this. This is a good trade. Now, you can also short this with NVDS. Okay, so if you want to do that, just get rid of the A, put S on there, and that's the short of all NVIDIA. Now, again, 86.62 is going to be very critical, but if it holds it, then that could be a good buying opportunity here to take it into their earnings here, which is pretty much a month away, okay? So this could be a good buying opportunity. So don't be afraid of it, okay? Let's just see what had a reaction if it does get all the way on down. Okay, that's what I got for you, and I'll be back here tomorrow morning, and we will do it all over again. Remember, trade what's in front of you, not what you want.